Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to Flight Deck. This is a weekly podcast about Star Citizen and other gamer culture topics. I'm your host, Linkstack MDK, and with me, as always, is Paper Thin.
Yo.
And by weekly, we mean we took like the last 2 weeks off, but we were busy, so
Yeah,
whatever.
It's good when we can get to it.
Anyway, so we have a lot to cover because we were gone for so long. So today's topics, and I'll try and get through these with minimal mess ups. Around the verse. No,
I'm kidding.
Around the Verse, episode 54, Star Citizen 1.1.5, Star Citizen audio update, Game Commander with Chris Roberts, 10 for the Chairman, episode 61, Star Watch, Prime Fashion, Galactic Guide, Kruger Intergalactic, Around the Verse, episode 55, Wonderful World of Star Citizen, episode 3, 10 for the Chairman, episode 62, Far From Home, The Kindness of Strangers, Galactic Guide, Castra System, Star Citizen 1.1.6 now live. Dang it, I got so close.
You were so close.
I was doing
almost
so well.
hit it. Almost.
Star Citizen 1.1.6 now live, balance and bug fixes, Galactic Guide, Osiris System, Gamescon flash sale, and Gamescon. So
you were just rusty, that's all. It's been a couple weeks.
No, I just failed. I'll commit seppuku after we're done uploading this video, don't worry.
That sounds good.
So, obviously, of all that stuff, the one thing that everyone's talking about is Gamescon. So,
Gamescon.
I'll try and get through everything else.
Yeah, let's get to the
quick.
important stuff here.
Yeah. So, Around the Verse, episode 54. That one we had the Empire Report, like always, Underground Racing, School Grades, Day Drifters. Nobody really cares. Let's, whatever.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Spectrum News, we found out that Drake Herald is being worked on, which they'd mentioned previously, so,
Yeah.
FPS practice mode with additional spawn points has been put in. They're doing some gun sight adjustments, animation polishing, death throws, etc. So that's cool.
Yay.
Some emotes they've put in, lighting, VFX. They're making medals, flashlights for the helmets. They're working on the WISE conversion for audio. And one interesting thing they did mention, though, was they're doing music based on performance. So, like, if you're doing really well, it'll be like this heroic music. If you're doing really bad, it'll be like this dark and grim music. So
okay, that's kind of interesting, I guess.
That's actually really cool.
But I would like the option to turn that off.
No, I'm sure you can turn off your music, but it's something if you've been shot 12 times and you're dragging yourself along the floor with one arm. It shouldn't be like do 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 do. You should have this really happy music in the background.
Well, but most people are going to be playing their own music anyway, I feel like. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. It'd probably be fun. I would prefer it more to just kind of match the mood, in the persistent universe.
Right.
Be oh, shit's getting intense, so we're gonna play some intense, really energetic music.
Well, they're doing that too. It's just it's gonna be different if during that intense, energetic music you shoot down 12 guys versus get shot 12 times.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what it's like when it's actually implemented.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
After that, we had the Star Zombie video, which is a guy who had his messed up character animation, had his arms stuck out like a zombie, and he was running around pretending to be a zombie trying to bite people. It was really entertaining. The Constellation has been its updated model, so they did a first look for that. It looks, really cool actually, and they showed some of the interior and exterior rework. So you should look forward to that when it's implemented on yours. So
I know. I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Mark Skelton, they did an interview with, essentially just talking about what he's currently working on. So, they're working on stuff for ships, for Nyx, for ArcCorp. ArcCorp, they kind of used as their test ground, and Nyx is kind of like their fully realized concept from start to finish. So that's cool. Ship shape, they talked about the origins of ships, types, companies, role stats with Ben. How the ship pipeline has essentially changed from when it first started. They're just it'd be cool. We should do this. Oh, that sounds awesome. Let's put it in. To maybe we should actually have some sort of plan. So that's what they talked about in ship shape. They're wanting more Arena Commander footage, so feel free to submit. I don't really have anything awesome. I just updated today, so I could
Okay.
play, but I haven't had a chance to play.
All right.
MVP for the week was Fiendish Feather for doing a Merlin commercial, which was essentially a car porn-esque Merlin commercial, which was pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice.
And then for the sneak peek, they had missile trails, which looked so good, and that will help so much when seeing like where your missile is. I feel like.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I think it'll make it easier to dodge missiles too, because you can kind of see them or
Yeah.
see the paths they're taking.
Maybe shoot it down too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You already can shoot them down. It's really
It's
hard.
just really hard because you can't see where they are.
Yeah.
After that, we have Star Citizen 1.1.5. That patch came with the W-Wise changes, the Vandal Scythe, the Merlin, both of those being playable now. Also, they had some gameplay updates for damage states, shields, weapons, and overall ship updates, changing, thrusters, maneuverability, etc. So, and weapons.
Cool. Yep.
I mean, it's just balance tweaks for the most part at this point for a lot of that stuff. So,
Yep.
let's see, Star Citizen audio update. So this was the WI stuff that they're implementing. They had some cool examples of like what the quantum drive, thrusters, gravity generator, pass-bys, all that, and what they sound like. So
I'm assuming we heard some of that at Gamescom. It
yeah,
sounded good.
Well, I mean, we heard the quantum drive for sure because we'd never
Yes.
seen the quantum drive before that. So
Yep, that was very cool. Very reminded me a lot of Eve's. In system fast travel a little bit.
Like when I'm comparing it to like hyperspace or warp drive, I thought it looked better personally.
Yeah.
Like it looks more like what you would imagine a speed at that velocity would feel like.
Yeah, I thought it did a good job kind of conveying the sense of speed.
Yeah.
Like it really felt, I don't know, like you were really accelerating and going fast.
Yeah, instead of just, oh, I've entered a new dimension. Whatever. Yeah.
Anyway.
Although I always felt like Star Wars did that slightly better. Although I can think of some Star Trek examples where it was done well, where it's like just coming into and out of hyperspace, I always felt was like really good. From that perspective, where a ship is like going super fast and then slows down suddenly, that type of thing.
Right.
After that, we had Game Commander with Chris Roberts. This one, I don't know. I didn't like this segment terribly much. It kind of felt like a development version of Bug Smashers,
Yeah.
I don't know. It on the one hand, it's interesting talking about like some of the things they're trying to implement and get around and fix and do all that. But on the other hand, I don't know.
It's just more to appease the whiners.
Yeah.
Like your
That's
guys
kind of
are
what
really
it felt
working
like
on this stuff.
Yeah, Chris actually does know what he's doing. He isn't just a figurehead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like he's made popular, successful video games before.
Well, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's just dumb. I don't know. Then we have 10 for the Chairman, episode 61. For this one, first question was in-game banking. How's it going to work, essentially? And you'll have balance as part of your MobiGlap ass. Wow. MobiGlass app. There we go.
What are you thinking about?
I don't know. Ass. I'm just gonna say it.
Uh,
Drop it once. You just gotta say it so it doesn't mean anything after a while.
It loses its meaning exactly.
Yeah. So with that, they will allow money transfers, but there'll be like some regulation, wire fees. They don't want it to like have people abuse the system, for example. So we'll see.
Right. I mean, there has to be some kind of monetary transfer system, but it can't just be like laissez-faire and just anything goes.
Here's 50 million credits to a new player.
Right.
Congrats. Yeah. And they also talked about the jump to Windows 10. They are doing some testing, and they did find a couple of issues, but they haven't found any major issues that would keep from, that concerns them. So,
okay, good.
It's ongoing. VR in the verse. One of the key people that worked for Crytek on virtual reality now works at Star Citizen. So once they have a couple more iterations in place, they're probably going to add VR back in and have VR support. So
yes,
cool. Obviously, that will happen after Gamescom. So
well, sure, yeah.
Can we be hunters? So long term, it sounds like something they would implement. That he talked a little bit about exploration and having planetary environments that you can like land on and then explore and run around. And with that, would be hunting, exotic game, etc. So
so we can go hunt Cecil the lion? Is that?
Yes, and skin and wear its pelt.
Oh my god. All right, let's not touch that topic anymore.
You're like, oh man, he's going with it. Maybe I shouldn't have
What
brought
have
it
I
up.
done?
What have I done? You should know better by now. Yeah. The history of your ship. Can we name our ships? Yes. The ships will
Oh my
age,
god.
wear and tear long term.
Been
One of the
asking this
things,
people.
well, one of the things that was new that was mentioned was he was thinking maybe they'll do like specific kills tied to specific ships, and like having somewhere where that's marked as well.
Oh, that
So
would be cool.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we've been asked this, but that was like kind of new information, so that was interesting. So like, there would be a reason for you to keep a ship rather than trade it in, because this ship is the ship where you got that Bengal carrier kill on,
Right?
that type of thing.
Right? Can you imagine? It's like having the Death Star on the side of your.
That's the X-wing I would keep is Wedge Antilles X-wing, the only
Uh,
X-wing with two Death Stars on the freaking
right?
kill thing.
Good God.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Spoken interactions with NPCs in Squadron 42. So this actually was really interesting because he was talking. The question was like, we're not going to have some stupid like A to F or 1 to 6 menu like they have in BioWare games or stuff like that, where you're like, I want to say this, and then there's a different interaction.
Right.
So it sounds like there'll be like thought bubbles, and then you can determine between thought bubbles, where like you highlight a thought bubble, and it'll be like, yeah, this guy did a really good job, or the other thought bubble, no, that guy sucked, and then like determining on which one you click on, that would be what you say. But more than that, there's other things you can do that count as part of interactions with the conversation. Like you talked about, maybe you look away, and then they're like, hey, are you listening to me?
Ha!
Or maybe you pick up a glass of water and take a drink, or maybe you pick up the glass of water and throw it in their face, that type of thing. So
That makes
that's kind of
sense.
yeah, that's really cool if that's all in there.
I do like that a lot. I mean, you pick your kind of.
How
It's
you
it's
want. It's not
yeah.
just like you talk, there are other ways to interact with people.
It reminds me of some of the better dating sim games where you more pick choices
You and your
on
damn
like.
dating
I
sim.
know. Shut up. Don't judge me.
I judge you to your face at least.
Oh, that's true. I appreciate that. You
Yeah.
know, kind of. But yeah, you pick like more like your internal thoughts on what's going on, and then your character kind of acts upon the thoughts. Not you just pick an option and he does that option exactly.
Right.
So
Like the thing he made it akin to is the Sherlock TV show, where he looks at something and then like thinks about it and that type of thing. So
oh, I'm totally fine with that. I love that show.
yeah. Next question was about instancing on a planet. It's something they're still working on, and like essentially it'll boil down to how many people can you have in one area, and that will really be dependent on the location and networking considerations, etc. So there's no like, oh, this place will have 50, this place will have 20. It depends on the area. So.
Okay.
What constitutes a short-range ship versus a long-range ship? And essentially, that all boils down to: do they have a jump drive, a quantum drive, do they have fuel tanks, etc. So,
Okay. That makes sense.
merging first and third-person animations. Do we really need it for more than the simple? It looks good. And he talked about, well, it actually cuts down on the amount of animations they need to do if they do it this way. So it's a lot more work up front, but it's a lot less work later on.
Makes sense.
And then how do you keep the team focused with all the like crappy criticism? I think we know what they're referring to. Um, he says it's hard because development is complicated, and if people didn't care, they wouldn't complain. But at the same time, you don't want to like take everything they say to heart and like just shut down. So
Right.
pretty
I
much
mean,
the answer you would expect.
right. I mean, you got to look for like the criticism that's valid and well intentioned. It's not just people whining because they are stamping their feet, not getting everything they want right now.
Or they want attention to promote their own properties that aren't
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some of that too, I guess.
Yeah. And then let's go to Star Watch Prime Fashion. So this was a kind of a fashion show esque blog. Like this is one of those shows that like if it's in the universe, I'm never gonna watch it. But so they talked about comedian Lupo Dingler. I'm guessing. I don't know. Whatever. Has been banned from performing on Stanton 3 because of a book that came out, which essentially made fun of the area. So they've been banned, blah blah blah. So that's something to me. The implications would be: is there stuff that we can do like PR-wise to get us banned from areas, not just actions. You know, like if I say Terra sucks, Earth rules, am I no longer allowed on Terra? That type of
Maybe.
thing.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what
it's
rights
no
we
big loss. Terra sucks.
have.
Nisco Hobbins interview. So this was incorporating, high fashion, blah blah blah. You know, one of those
Yep.
typical people that like pretend fashion matters because their livelihood depends on it. Yeah, they talked about incorporating tech into fashion and like clubs changing their dress codes for these new retro frontier looks that celebrities are having and all this crap. So it was like whatever.
Yeah, this is clearly like a lead up for the fashion shop that's going to be in ArtCorp.
Yeah,
So, yep. We're just
exactly.
getting
Yep.
ramped up for stuff I don't give a shit about.
Well, it's like either you're gonna look like Neo or you're gonna look like Han. It's only one of those two ever.
Oh my god.
Let's be real.
The
You're gonna be
Matrix
ready.
called. They
You're
want
gonna
their
be
clothes back.
Yeah. You're gonna be running around day one of Star Citizen, see nothing but fucking Han Solos
Oh my
everywhere, or
god.
fucking Neos from the Matrix with trench coats,
Why are you making me realize this is gonna be true?
or there'll be Boba Fett's everywhere too. Let's be real. Those would be the three main
Boba
ones that you
Fett's.
see everywhere.
Of course, yep. Everybody's gonna do everything they can to make themselves look like Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Can I have jump jets and flamethrowers?
Yes, you can.
Woo!
Woo. Let's see. After that, we have Galactic Guide, Kruger Intergalactic. So Kruger was initially focused on producing components for larger companies. So like their policy is every part perfection or whatever the fuck. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. But they had a long-standing relationship with Barian and RSI. And they were initially based on Magnus, but then Magnus kind of, when the Empire went through its whole revolutionary period, started to go more and more lawless, so then they had to move to Castra 2 because their shipments kept getting attacked by pirates, even though they were famous for saying, oh, we're never going to leave, this is our home, that type of thing. And then, following this, they've moved into designing weapons since, one of their executives is like, we make every part for the weapon except the weapon itself. Why don't we just make weapons? And they're like, you know what? Why don't we just make weapons?
Seems to make some sense, yeah.
Yeah. So then they started designing weapons, but they had trouble getting that out. So then they partnered with, I want to say, Aegis to get one of their weapons as like at a discount as part of their build. I think it was the Avenger, whatever the hell that front gun's called.
Right.
Then following this, they're like, okay, we're great at making weapons, and we make all these ship components too. Why don't we start making ships? So now they've started making the Merlin and Archimedes as kind of their test bed for that. So, cool. I gotta say, the new Merlin and Archimedes look so good.
Yeah, the Merlin looks way better than it originally did.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Now it looks like a very sexy bobsled instead of just an ugly bobsled. I don't know. It doesn't really look like a bobsled anymore. It just looks weird.
It's not as bobsleddy.
It's like a religious cross if you look at it from the top, almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. It's hard to come up with like what it looks like anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have Around the Verse episode 55. So this one, Empire Report, some advocacy agent died on their first day of work. RMS is having planet-owned businesses being pushed out by galactic businesses, and NASA, which I forget what it stood for, is talking about the future of spaceflight. So it
Cool.
kind of seems like they're trying to mirror like real-world stories.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They are.
There were some Star Marine updates, but quite frankly, I don't even read those anymore. Like, until it's out, I don't care.
Right.
I know the reasons they're held up are animations, polishing, and network issues, and then a couple other things.
Yep.
Either it's fixed or it's not. There's no reason for me to look at an update about that.
Exactly.
They showed some team photos of the various studios. That was pretty cool. The UK office is holy crap ton of people.
Yeah, they've gotten huge.
Spectrum News, the Glaive and character concepts are being worked on. Glaive is now playable for those that care. There's Gamescon they've been working on. The AI programmer is actually working on the flight mechanics for the larger ships. So that's pretty cool to know.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll be seeing some AI Idrises and
Oh,
things like that in the future.
yes, please.
Working on netcode and player prediction. Yawn. Heard about that. We've reduced lag. Congrats.
We're working on the same thing we're always going to be working on for the rest of this game.
Yep, pretty much. Hit indicators they're working on as well. They've got 100% of their features are done at this point, so they're focusing solely on bug fixing for FPS, so that's good.
Very cool.
Social module updates. They're working on the microtech style guide and the Terra clothing line, and shops in general.
Oh boy.
And with the latest balancing patches, they feel like the game overall feels more balanced, so good.
Yay.
Oh, and they're also working on audio for WICE, but we had the post about that earlier, but that's another ongoing thing they'll always be working on.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Then they had Super Extreme Racing, which was a video somebody submitted of a Merlin flying in that station trench and then crashing and blowing up. I'm like, it was very reminiscent of like back in the days of X-Wing when you'd fly around that trench in like a Star Destroyer, for example, and you're like, don't hit the sides, don't hit the sides.
Oh, I crashed.
Yeah.
But it was still fun to try, like flying in the Super Star Destroyer.
Oh, that was always fun, yeah. Then we have balance talk with designers Calix and Matt. So they're talking about the overall balance changes and what they're seeing. So the time to kill has moved up to around 1 to 1.5 minutes, whereas it was like 15 seconds before. They did also say that some ace pilot fights can go for a very long time, like 4 or 5 minutes.
That makes sense.
They're also talking the changes to the health and damage system have increased the overall time to kill, so people have higher health, so it takes longer for them to die, essentially.
That's necessary.
One thing they did mention was about the Sucker Punch weapon. Will eat shields and systems, so it's good for like anti-energy weapon builds. Because if you keep shooting their energy weapons, they won't be able to fire them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's an that to me is like, oh, ion cannon,
Yeah, very similar, kind of like a sapping mechanism.
Right. So, and it shuts down to other systems like thrusters, whatever. So
nice.
Might be worth just having one on whatever ship you use.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other than that, they had James interviewing Josh Coons about the Constellation rework and making the quality as high as their other later ships. I'm not going to get too in depth on that. They also mentioned they worked on the specific tasks like the helmet interiors and things like that as well. So
Neat.
Moving on. Ship shape. They talked about the Vanguard, the deep space fighter made by Aegis. A little bit about it. It's a escape pod in the middle of the ship, crawl spaces for getting to parts. It lacks some maneuverability, but it's got heavier armor, that type of thing.
Still a really cool ship. I mean,
it is super sweet. Like, I want one, but at the same time, I'm like, I've already got a ship that kind of fills that role. I don't need a second,
Yeah, I mean, I'll get one in game just to like have one for like oh hey, it's just me and you on tonight. You want to do some Vanguard stuff? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, like, I don't feel like it's worth getting one of those until I have an Idris or something like that that can hold hull fighters around. Like, that to me is my next goal, is to get, like, a carrier ship.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah. Let's see, MVP this week was Goose for his 303i feedback thread, and they're like, oh, that's super helpful. We're not going to use everything mentioned in there, but, it's got a lot of good points, so that's cool.
Good job.
Good job, Goose.
Good job, dude.
Talk to me, Goose. Then we have the concept artist contest they've got going on for character designs. So if you want to get a Idris by being the winner, feel free to submit some character designs. And I thought that was a really good prize.
That's an amazing prize. That's $1,000 prize right there.
Yeah. Well, it's
awesome.
Like 1,200, right?
I can't remember. Yeah, something around that.
But that's pretty good if your character designs get picked. So
hell
sweet.
Yeah.
And then their sneak peek was a character model, and I was like, whatever. I wish I had the talent to draw or any of that stuff. I don't, so
I have zero talent in that respect too.
Yeah, I can do some drawing, and I can make it look really good, but then there's just certain things I can't draw at all, like faces and
I can't draw anything except for stick figures. Oh, I got it.
You should submit that as a joke. Character design. male stick figure, female stick
Oh
figure,
God.
kid stick figure. They're just smaller stick figures next to the other two.
Did he really just draw boobs on that stick figure? Wow.
No, I was thinking like the dress symbol for the bathroom.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
I
you
guess
have
that would be a lot less like rude.
and then you have like a little dog, which also looks like a duck because you can't draw.
My dogs look like no animal that exists on this planet.
God.
uh,
And next we have the Wonderful World of Star Citizen Episode 3. For there, they had a couple of really cool submissions. The beginning of the video was Fiendish Feather's Danger Zone, which is kind of like a Top Gun style Bengal carrier launch and all that stuff. It looks really cool.
that was pretty
But,
badass.
well, that's everything he submits. I'm like, come on.
I know.
Yeah. Then we had Matt Fossa with the Forward Reflections. It's music inspired by Star Citizen. I think it was like 4 or 5 different songs.
Cool.
INN Commercial, Imperial News Network. They do a lot of fiction, news podcasts, written articles, etc. about Star Citizen. They are the quote-unquote premier source for all Star Citizen news.
Oh yeah, I mean, like their website's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to like shit on them, but I gotta admit, I go there all the time.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, Flight Deck's wait. No, they are really good.
they are. Yeah, if you're looking for just like pure information,
There's so much there.
they take care of it all, and they do transcripts of all the official CIG videos and
Yeah.
stuff. Just freaking,
It's impressive.
it's very impressive.
Yeah. Then we had Santa Bell, which is he had an Alexander destroyer, which looks really good, by the way. I have to say first, but I almost feel like it's too good, for like the role he's going for. I'm like, if we have this, then why do we need X, Y, and Z ship?
Right.
So, and then we had a Mechabot who did a Lego Reclaimer, which was pretty impressive looking. It's 35,000 pieces, 60 inches long, 37 inches across, and would weigh about 700 pounds if he actually built it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
700 pounds?
That's what they said.
That can't be right.
I don't know.
I mean,
how much does one Lego piece weigh, and then times that by 35,000?
Well, I mean, like my 1,500 piece B-wing only weighs like 5 pounds.
So that would be 5 pounds times 30 something would be quite a bit, but I don't think 700. I don't know.
No way. It's not even close.
Yeah, but I wonder what the size of some of those pieces are. Like
that could be.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, if you're making it that big, then some of those pieces are going to be pretty gigantic.
And would weigh more. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway.
Then we have Addy Nitisor, who's doing the Hunter Star Citizen fan fiction comic. I haven't read it, but the preview they had looked pretty cool.
I've read some of it, and it is pretty cool. Like the artwork's really good.
And then they had Years 100 do the fan art showcase, where I was kind of like, God, I wish I had artistic talent every time I saw.
I know.
Speaking of artistic talent from before, we were talking about stick figures.
Yeah, it's like about how these suck.
Oh, I'll trade like 5 IQ points for the ability to draw. Just do it.
That's an interesting proposal.
I would easily do that. I'm fine with that.
I don't know if I would or not. That's tough.
If I was slightly dumber but could draw, I'd be happy.
Damn. Where's the devil? We gotta make a deal here.
I tried. It didn't work.
You went down to Georgia and brought your fiddle and.
Yep, all that.
No go.
No go. Then after that, we have 10 for the Chairman, episode 62. So for that, their first question was, how is it getting back into game development, having not done game development for 10 years? Did you find it like challenging, blah, blah, blah? And he's like, not really. Everything's still using C++, so that was easy for me to get back into. And I'm like, oh, there you go. How will the NPC population behave in the persistent universe? So they have their working simulator that simulates about 20 million AI agents doing like their high-level simulation of this guy goes here, trades that, etc. So from that, they'll pull down specific population servers for, okay, these AI would encounter this player, so we need to populate them in, and they would have this ship and this difficulty rating, etc. So
Right.
Silent protagonist. Will your character talk essentially, or will it be just a silent person like in a lot of games where you just kind of have text that says what you say. But he's
Right.
like, no, they actually did film, a person playing the Pete player character and talking. And then
Sweet.
he was talking that they'll have potentially, different regional accents. So different voice actors doing different, like this guy's from Ireland, this guy's from America, that type of thing.
Oh,
But he's not sure. But they will have a male and a female version, so cool.
awesome.
Uh, Community generated content. Is there anything that you saw that you didn't like, and there's something that you really thought was awesome, and usually I haven't seen anything terrible. you know,
Wait till I send in my submissions.
yes, stick figure time.
The concept artist
Like,
contest.
so, episode 63, community generated content. Well, last week I said there wasn't anything terrible, but then Paper Thin posted this stupid stick figure drawing, and we just kind of make fun of it around the office, and
I hope he posted outside of his office. What not to do.
Darth Innocent
Or did it
by
then?
Paper Thin, age 30, with Crad.
This is becoming more and more likely to actually happen now.
Oh God. Next question was about ship inertia. They will do more with it in the future. Right now, the first iteration is going to be very basic, but he wants to have it like Star Trek, where something impacts the ship, and then people have to like grab onto the bulkhead to avoid falling over, that type of thing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, there you go. Multi-crew gameplay. What type of multi-crew gameplay will we have? Talked about that before. I'm not getting into it. Radar, helm, turret, fixing, blah blah.
Yep.
Will there be difficulty settings in Squadron 42? He was talking they'll probably implement something, but he doesn't want to make it too easy. You should have to like achieve something to move on.
Right, because it will affect some of the stuff in the game for your character. So.
Yep. Salvaging in the verse, will we have specific areas like we have for mining where you can do salvaging? And essentially, yeah. And he's figuring that we'll probably have a deep dive document in the future, that we'll talk about that.
Perfect.
Ships in my hangar aging. If I don't use my ships, will they still age? And the answer is yeah, just not as fast as if you were constantly using it.
Sure.
And will we see a Linux client? He's answered this before. Yes, but they're waiting on OpenGL implementation before they can really do anything.
Yep.
Then we had Far From Home, The Kindness of Strangers. So this was that dude who does the Far From Home talking, about Traveler Day and all this stuff. And one of the questions was, what's the dumbest thing you've done in space? And he said drinking and flying. I accidentally hit something and was stranded, and a reclaimer crew had to come and help him out. So, don't drink and fly was the overall.
Can't tell me what to do.
You're not my dad. Then we had the Galactic Guide Castro system. So Castro system initially was being used once it was discovered as a military fortress world on the edge of Xi'an space, however you want to pronounce it. And it now functions primarily as a trading outpost. Initially, Castro 1 is just a dead world, so the UE Navy used it for bombing runs and testing and stuff like that. Castro 2, which they call CASCOM, Castro Command, has a thick cloud layer that they attribute to it being terraformed a little too quickly. Sherman, which is the capital city, is a fortress city that's above the cloud layer on a mountain and apparently looks really badass and cool. And lately it's been attracting a lot of retirees and high-end stores, restaurants, and they're trying to get a younger crowd with crazy extreme sports off the mountains and things like that. So
it's kind of like the Arizona, Southern California of
pretty much, yeah.
Star Citizen.
And the Jean in this analogy would be in Mexico. Would that be? I mean,
is that we're not going down there? We're not going down that path.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't trying to imply anything. Don't you put those words on me.
Oh, that's great. We're gonna build a well.
Oh my god. We're gonna build a Dyson sphere around the sun and not let anyone in. Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I wonder if that eventually there will be a war with the Jean, and that will be something that happens in game, and Castro really does go back to being a fortress world.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Suck it, retirees.
I kind of feel like I would help the Jean even if I'm human. It's like, let me sneak some of you aboard, aboard my
Yeah,
ship into the city to spy on them. Let me,
that would be
help
cool.
sabotage stuff. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
They also said that there was a orbiting space station capable of refueling capital ships and junk
Oh,
like that at Castra 2. I don't know if that's still in play or whatever.
cool.
I assume so.
Yeah.
And then Star Citizen 1.6.1 is now live. That has more balance and bug fixes. We talked about a little bit of it. They've made some updates to the matchmaking logic to group you by skill level, so we'd be grouped very well.
Yeah, we're bad.
They've made some Vandal AI tweaks, so Vandal will be slightly harder. They'll stay in battle longer, that type of thing. They've raised the Battle Royale victory score requirement and lowered the Squadron Battle victory score requirements, so you don't need to go as high in Squadron battles, but you do need to go higher in Battle Royale. Squadron and Capture the Core now require 4 players before the game will start on both teams. And they've also ship score overall values have been lowered, so killing a ship won't grant you as much as it would previously. And they've fixed several server issues, etc.
Yay.
Yay. Overall, they're just trying to make the game more playable
Yeah,
at this
that's
point.
pretty important at this point.
Then we have the Galactic Guide Osiris system. Osiris 1, or Etos, is one of those planets under the Fair Chance Act, so it's got a native population that should, be allowed to grow and evolve and all that. So we don't want to mess with them, although, of course, we don't, monitor it well enough, so people are going to smuggle and kill and all that.
Yeah, so people are messing with them anyway.
Yeah, of course. Then there's an asteroid belt, and eventually they said that asteroid belt, in probably a couple billion years, will form a new world. But that's a couple billion years out. Osiris 2 is a gas giant, mostly of hydrogen, that they use as a refueling station. And there's a refueling station out there at the Lagrange point for the system. So there you go.
Nice.
Then we have the Gamescom flash sale, which brought back a lot of freaking ships that people were like, "Oh, I wish that was still on sale."
Yeah.
So did I tell you my brother picked up a Retaliator?
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's awesome. We're going to get to fly on that, too.
I know, right? Like, he was talking to me about it yesterday, and he's like, I said to him, a week ago, I would have been like, it's not really worth it for you to get a Retaliator, but now that they're doing all this modularity stuff and, like, you can customize it, totally get one,
Yeah. Yeah, and it'll be the first multi-cruise ship available in 2.0, so...
Right. So,
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that.
He was all like, I don't know, should I get one? I'm like, it's up to you. I'm not going to say yes or no because I think there's good and bad to both,
Right.
And then he's
deep
like,
down.
screw it, I'm getting it because
Yeah.
he really liked it.
And
So
deep down, you're like, buy it.
Well, for me, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's not like I couldn't afford it myself. If I wanted to, I could get, one of every single one of the ships that they listed, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Just, I can't justify that expense to myself
No.
even, so.
No.
Yeah. So you got the Retaliator, the Karak, the Caterpillar, the Orion, the Reclaimer, the Carthual, and the Merchantmen were all available as part of this flash sale. So that's freaking
pretty
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
I know. I keep like wanting a Caterpillar, but I keep saying no. I know better.
I was like so close to getting a Carthual, and then I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. No.
I already have one. I'll let you fly it.
Well, and I thought the same thing about the Orion. I'm like, I should get an Orion because then I have a mining ship too. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so rough.
Yeah. The Orion is pretty sweet looking too.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all the news that we'd missed out on in the last couple of weeks. So let's talk to Gamescon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Get
So,
fucking hype, man.
Like, as soon as I watched Gamescom, I posted on my Facebook, for everybody who was saying this game will never be finished, this was a giant middle finger to you. It really was. Because, let's be real, this game, like, they pretty much showed us everything that was required gameplay-wise for the game working, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is, other than, like, really massive capital ships, this is a game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Like, they did EVA, they did
Yep.
Quantum Drive, they did multiple locations, they did Giant Star Map, they did multi-cruise ships fighting each other with... I mean, what else was there? I mean, the one thing they didn't have was fighting FPS style inside the multi-cruise ship when they boarded it, which I was kind of sad on. I was
the
like,
only piece they're missing.
Wouldn't it have been awesome if there was like a survivor that they then fight, to take the ship? That
That would
that
have
would
been
have been
really
the only
cool.
thing they could have added. That I
Yep.
would have been like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. It looked really fun and really like hectic, but also
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked really fun being a turret gunner. That's all I gotta say.
Well, like from the three main presentation videos that they had as part of their presentation, they had the persistent universe running around ArcCorp, all the various shops. We'd seen all that before, so I wasn't super hyped. It was
Right.
cool to see some of the back alley stuff and like walk around, but
Yep.
and cool to see the other people there that they were interacting with. But
Right. That's kind of one of those things that I'm just like, I want to see it in game. I don't
yeah,
need to see a
yeah,
video of it.
I would like to interact with it personally rather than through another
Yeah.
person's perspective.
Yeah.
Um, but still interesting. And then the FPS was kind of like they should have set something up specific, like because they were running around, they didn't really have good, they were killing each other, so you couldn't really show off the weapons and all that stuff.
Right.
It wasn't a great presentation for the FPS. That
No.
said, we'd already seen so much information about FPS, I really didn't care at that point, right?
Right.
But then, oh, multi-crew, persistent universe, Jesus.
I know.
Like, they could have just shown that. I wouldn't have cared at all about anything else, and I would have been happy.
Well, I mean, it's just amazing, and the space station was freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just awesome looking.
Well, like
And
the seamless transition from inside to outside.
yep,
Ugh.
yep, that's so cool. I mean, there aren't really a lot of games that do that out there. It's just,
Now without load screens.
yeah, that's freaking, so awesome.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got also like the planets that are in the background that like maintain their aspect ratio depending on distance and all that stuff. And oh man.
Yeah.
And of course, the coolest part was the Idris blocking out the sun at the end of
Oh,
the
I know.
video.
Thing was awesome. It was huge.
I'm like, as soon
Oh
as I
my
saw it, I'm like,
god.
I'm definitely getting an Idris. I was like, do I want to save up for an Idris or do I want to save up past an Idris and just wait another year or two and get like a Phoenix or no? I'm like, no, I'm getting an Idris now. Yeah, I think that's probably as I'm gonna go, unless I become part of like a major guild or something like that, and
Yeah.
have a
Well,
bunch of people
yeah.
I can play with.
I mean, what's the minimum crew for an Idris? Like
I think it was
7,
like 12.
12?
Yeah.
That's a lot
So
of people.
well, and that's all NPCs, but you figure
Well,
if
still, yeah.
it's relatively well defended at that stage, and you can fly around and get cargo and
Right.
pay for it that way.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that was so cool.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
The whole video just looked great. Did you watch the press release one, like the one they like polished
Yeah.
up and released?
You mean without Chris Roberts yelling at Disco Lando every 2 seconds to change camera angle? Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That's the one I watched first, actually. And then I watched the second one. And I'm like, switch back to red 1, switch back to red 2, switch back to red 3. I'm like, Jesus, just do it yourself, Chris, or shut up.
I know.
Like that's the thing. It's like
they need to work on that a little bit.
what they should have done is just muted his mic for the audience and had it go straight to Lando.
Yeah,
And
that would. Yeah.
we only hear the game audio and see the game audio, and meanwhile he's giving his directorial discussion that we don't hear.
Yeah, they need to work on something to do that a little better, but I don't really care too much.
Well, it was just funny.
It was.
Yeah, it looked really good. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say. And I like the fact that the ship got so damaged it couldn't quantum travel.
I know. That
Which
was funny.
In that case you're like, oh no, this isn't some stupid prearranged, stuff. It literally works in game if
Yep.
that's the case,
Yep. That was really
So-
interesting. And we got to see all the stations, the engineering station, the
Yeah,
turrets.
the power distribution.
Yeah.
The one thing I saw posted on Reddit was how do you turn on the gravity if you have no power? And I'm like, that's a great point, actually.
That is interesting. I didn't really thought about that.
I
Maybe you have
either.
a backup generator or something?
I don't know, but I thought it was a great point.
Just
Like,
make some
wouldn't
hand wavies.
wouldn't you turn on the power before you turn down the gravity?
Just make some hand wavy science stuff.
What is this, Star Trek?
Kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, some of the other information they talked about, end of this month, PU is going to drop. And then hopefully end of next month, FPS will drop.
Well, social module.
Oh, yeah, sorry, social module, not PU.
Yeah.
Then end of next month, FPS should drop. And then end of this year, they'll have AC 2.0, which is the multi-crew combat.
Okay,
So I'm
that
fine with all
works.
these things.
Yeah, I'm hoping that those are accurate timelines.
Which, let's be real, they won't be.
No, no, they won't be.
I'm thinking AC 2.0 will probably be February. We'll probably see FPS in time for like no Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
but whatever.
right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So,
Is there much else to talk about at Gamescom? We should talk about the new devices they revealed.
oh yeah, the new
The
joystick.
Hotas, yeah,
Yeah,
the
there were
joystick and the keyboard, and
there were two different versions. There was like the stock version, which I think you said was like 150 US,
yeah,
and then like the more pristine version, which was probably like 250 US or whatever.
yeah,
Comes with like trackball and all that junk.
right. And there's a keyboard with it too, which I thought looked really nice.
Yeah, well, the thing that impressed me was the throttle and joystick separating part where you could put it on each side of your keyboard, then have the keyboard in the middle.
Yeah,
That to me was like, yes.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, yes.
And
I'm
then,
buying this now.
right, and then there's like the touchscreen on the joystick on the nicer version.
Well, I wasn't sure if that was like actual touchscreen or if that was just a screen.
He said it
But
was a touchscreen.
yeah, but then he said he wasn't sure if it was a touchscreen, so don't quote him
Oh,
on that.
oh, damn it! God, it would be awesome.
If it is a touchscreen, then it's baller. Yeah.
So baller.
I'm thinking of the two. I'll probably get the cheaper version because the cheaper version still splits, and I can just use my normal keyboard and mouse.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll
I'm
see.
torn. I'm torn because it looks
I'll,
so good.
I'll determine it when like we actually have like full release specs and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
oh show.
Bow show.
Oh,
Yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about Star Citizen wise? Because holy crap.
I don't think. I think that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Gamescom was pretty sweet. We didn't really learn too much new. We just saw new stuff, so
Yeah.
it's nice.
I mean,
We're getting there.
like I'm wondering like if eventually it will be where you can have your own private station like that for your group, and then
I think so. I think they've talked in the past about allowing you to control stations.
yeah, but like I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where it seemed more military-esque than anything. It's probably like a part of the actual like Squadron 42,
Maybe.
and then
I just
eventually
want
in
an
the
asteroid
PU.
base. That's all I want.
Was yeah, like the one in the tutorial that opens up.
Yes.
And, yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty cool. Although it's such a pain in the butt to fly out of that thing, you gotta line up perfect and all that.
It is really hard, actually.
you go too high, you smack your head on the ceiling, and you're like, crap,
Oops.
that's gotta get paid for. Oh well. Oh, I mean, there's nothing really other than that that's super exciting that I'm going, oh yay, I want it all now.
I
I want
know.
to play it now.
I know. I'm getting pretty impatient.
Yeah.
Like God, give me FPS, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, like now I'm almost more excited for multi-crew than I am FPS again. I
Yeah.
keep switching back and forth on which I'm more excited for.
I know.
And like after watching Gamescom, now I'm more excited for multi-crew than I am FPS.
I know. It looks so fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see an Idris in action in combat.
Oh man, like
Awesome.
the one press video that he did a month ago where they showed like the Bengal carrier firing all its cannons and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see giant ship on ship like destroyer over on destroyer fights and stuff like that.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's all I got there.
That's all I got there too. You got any non-Star Citizen stuff you want to talk about?
Maybe. Let's see. I've been reading that manga that you introduced me to, Yokute no
Gote New Saga or whatever.
New Saga. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, and most of the ones I read are very good. You just don't read most of them.
You say that. I don't know. I picked up a couple new animes this season. One's called Gate. It's like about this.
Yeah,
like,
I know. I've read the manga.
Have you?
Yeah, I've
okay.
been watching the show too. It's the military fan service for the JSDF.
Yes.
Manga.
Exactly what it is.
Just wait till you get later on and they take on. Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
It's literally like a circle jerk at how great the Japanese military is. This is the whole manga's point. And the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, U.S. would crush you in 2 seconds.
We crush
But
most countries in 2
they're
seconds.
great against people with bows and arrows and shields and armor.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
I like it. It's funny and
You know,
it's kind of cool.
I'm not saying it's a bad manga. I'm just saying there's definite elements where this guy is a hard-on for the Japanese military.
Yeah.
Whoever
Oh, yeah.
created it. Yeah.
That's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple others that I'm kind of giving a chance, but not noteworthy yet.
Not Dragon Ball Super.
No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna watch that eventually. Just
I gotta say, I'm severely disappointed so far, but I'm wondering if I'm judging it based on the standards of Team 4-Star.
Well, that's just it. Now, like Team 4-Star
Yeah.
set the ball so high for Dragon Ball related content. It's like
Right. Like the actual Dragon Ball content doesn't measure up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Resurrection of F yet. It's out in the theaters here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning.
A couple near me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple near me too. So I've been like within 25 minutes. So I'm thinking about going. I'd have to go. Well, actually, I might have missed out on my chance because I'm on call for work next week. So.
Well, and I think it ends on like the 12th, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, but,
I'll watch it online when it's released online. I'm thinking.
Yeah. But other than that, I can't think of too much else that I've been watching or doing.
Yeah.
I've been really busy.
Yeah. I should have. I've been busy with work, and then hopefully after this week I'll be less busy with work, and then I'll have a week break, and then I'll have busy with work again.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, but I'll be less busy in 2016, which is when Star Citizen stuff will start coming out. So
that's the important part.
Yeah.
Need time for Star Citizen, your second job.
Yeah, it will be my second job. I'll literally come home from work and play Star Citizen, and then be like, oh crap, I gotta go to sleep because I gotta go to my actual job to afford my Star Citizen habit. That type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's all I got, man.
That's all I got too. That is it for this week's episode of Flight Deck. We'll catch you guys next week.